everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday to you. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to try to get the most impact in a shorter amount of time. I'm going to be using less cards, and we're going to get messages from the Lighthouse box. On this channel, if you're new, we focus on taking you from zero to hero in your own life, giving you the tools and information that you need to grow and expand and evolve into the best version of yourself, and always, always, always keeping the divine number one, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So we have, I was called to both of these decks here, and what came out was number 33. That could be significant, or number 6. It says, speak to yourself with kindness. Become aware of how you speak to yourself. Okay? So immediately when this card came out, without even looking at the words, okay, is that, gratitude came out immediately. Because this woman is walking through all these rolling hills of flowers. There's butterflies. It's like the divine is lighting the way. We have this huge sun here. And when I read the words, speak to yourself with kindness, it's almost like there's so much beauty around you. And I'm also hearing within you. But you need to ask yourself, how are you speaking to yourself? Okay? It says, become aware of how you're speaking to yourself. So, this could be, how you're speaking to yourself on a day-to-day basis. If you're having speaking to yourself negatively, or having a negative outlook on yourself, or maybe your progress, or where you're at in life, or physically, you need to flip the script on that, and you need to be speaking on what you want, not where you are, okay? I'm hearing you've come a long way, okay? And you're surrounded by so much beauty. There's these butterflies. You may have gone through a transformation, okay? I'm hearing you need to be kind to yourself, okay? And the divine is leading you to the sun here. I'm hearing there's so much beauty around you, okay? And you need to be thankful, grateful, and continue on this path, because it's leading you to your sun. It's leading you to your happiness here, okay? So keep focusing on those. I'm hearing those affirmations, right? The I am, right? I am beautiful. I am successful, right? I am limitless. I am fearless. I am grateful. All of those affirmations, right? They're going to raise your vibration, okay? And it's going to change how you feel about yourself, right? So it's so important to focus on positivity, focusing on speaking what you want in your life, not where you are in life, okay? Because the more you raise your vibration, right, the more you elevate in your thinking and your beliefs. Like, it's not just speaking it, you have to believe it, okay? And that creates an energy that starts attracting and manifesting the things that you want in your life, right? But you can't do that by speaking down to yourself, okay? And then we also have bright flame. It's the salamander spirit. It says, even in the darkest times, you have the power to light your inner fire and shine brightly. Okay? And that's what I got with this card. I mean, the sun is huge. It's like I just heard you carry a bright flame. okay? And no matter what's going on in the world, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on right now, right? Don't lose focus on the bright flame that you carry. Allow your light to shine bright. It has power. It has purpose. That's what I'm hearing. It has purpose. So keep speaking those positive affirmations here so you can continue to stand in the power of your light. That's what I'm hearing, okay? And it says, make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your path. Psalm 25:4, okay? And by letting the divine lead you here on his teaching and his path, it's radiating a light within you, right? But you need to be kind to yourself, right? I'm hearing you are the masterpiece. You are his beautiful creation. So keep pushing forward, shining that bright light, okay? The world needs that right now. It says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Matthew 6:13, okay? That's why your light is so needed right now, right? To outshine the evilness, okay? People are searching for direction. They're searching for clarity. They're searching for answers, right? And you are that bright light here, right? I'm hearing it's time for you to see it in yourself, okay? I'm hearing you are beautiful. You carry a bright light that makes you beautiful, okay? Stand in your power, stand in your truth, right? And be that light for others. Okay, so let's get some messages from here, from the Lighthouse box. Okay. All right, let's see. You know, and what I'm also getting with this is that sometimes, you know, during dark times, right? And there's some dark times going on in the world right now, okay? You need to continue to walk forward in your bright light here, okay? Because you carry an energy that is healing for others. So it's important that you keep moving forward on this divine path. I just heard you're more powerful than you know. You're more powerful than you think. Okay? So it's really important that you continue on the path, okay? It says, in case you need to hear it, I am proud of you. That's the divine. Okay? That's the divine saying, you know, I'm proud of you. You're staying on the path. I need you to be kinder to yourself. Okay? You know, I continue to carry that bright light. It has power. Okay? It says, grace means that all your mistakes now serve a purpose instead of serving shame. Grace means that all of your mistakes now serve a purpose instead of serving shame. Yeah. This is, okay, so, you know, and what I'm getting with this is, you know, this is all black, right? So this is like maybe the mistakes or experience you had while you were working on or in your shadow side, devil energies, right? That maybe you might have been ashamed about, right? But now it's here to serve purpose. Now you've become this bright light for others, okay? You're this bright light for others, and the divine is so proud of you. But you need to believe, I'm hearing you need to believe in yourself, okay? You need to believe in yourself. Because it's like this woman, she's walking here all full of just complete beauty around her, right? And she has this like robe. I just heard, you shine like a diamond. That's what I just heard. You shine like a diamond. It's like her whole robe that she's wearing, and it could be he or she, okay, we don't do gender, but it's like covered with diamonds, okay? And you need to see yourself in that light, okay? It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. Yeah. Don't try to understand everything, okay? Understand what you don't need to have, I'm hearing you don't need to have all the answers, okay? You don't need to figure out how to solve every problem within your life, within the world, with everything, right? You just need to trust in Him with all your heart. Okay? You don't need to understand everything, right? It's more important that you focus on your path and your purpose, because whatever happened to you in the past, okay, it now has purpose, okay? And it's to shine this beautiful bright light that you carry. In these dark times, that's what I'm hearing, in these dark times. Okay? So keep shining. It says, faith never knows where it is being led, but it loves and knows the one who is leading. Yeah. This is about not having to have all the answers, right? Leading and trusting on God with all your heart, having faith. You don't know where you're being led, but you have faith and trust with all your heart and love for the divine that's leading you here, okay? It says, my strength grows every day. Yeah, this is the strength within yourself, the strength of love you have for yourself, right? Also, I'm getting the strength that grows within you is in your faith, in your trust, not having to have all the answers, right? But also through that, your light is getting brighter. Okay? I'm hearing you carry the fire within. Okay? You may be a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or have heavy fire in your chart, okay? Because we have the big sun here too, which is fire, right? I'm hearing you're meant to be a bright light for others, okay? Let's see. Yeah, be the change. You are, your past has purpose. It's to be the change. Your light, your fire, the power within, right? That's growing within you every day. And the divine is so proud of you for trusting and putting your heart and faith into Him and leading you, right? Trusting the path and letting him teach you, right? Because you are the change here. You could be doing something on the internet as well. It could be a business, leading people to change, right? I just heard your impact. I'm hearing your impact is your power. Okay. It says, from one small seed of kindness, friendship grows. Okay. Yeah, and I'm getting it with this, right? So you could be doing something small, like small acts of kindness for other people, right? And by doing that, it's making you stronger. It's making that bright light within you. I just heard power up. The bright light within you is getting powered up, okay? And I always say every small act of kindness is powerful. It radiates a higher vibration. It brings light into every situation, okay? And it brings change within yourself as well, you know? It says, don't give to get, give to inspire others to give. Yeah. And I feel like that's the journey that you're on, right? You're to be the change. You want to give to inspire others to give, right? Maybe you're doing something, you're planting small seeds that inspire others, right? I just heard you're the inspiration. I think there's a song that's you are the inspiration, right? But I mean the key is to plant those seeds, to inspire others, right? To be the change. You know, every little act, you know, can have a huge impact. That's what I'm hearing. Huge impact. Because people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Okay? And when you carry a bright light, when you carry, I just heard impact. When you carry impact by your light, it changes people. That's why it's important to plant those seeds to inspire others, right? Because it's impactful. You know, you're spreading the light, and that changes people because there's so much darkness out there right now. You know, and people have lost their way, right? And the divine is proud of you, even if it's something small, okay? You know, we're all on different paths here, and we all have our own challenges. And you know, even if all we can do is just a small seed, you know, with the resources and things that we have, right? It does inspire others. It does create change, right? And it's lighting a flame within you by doing this, okay? You will never influence the world by being just like it. Oh, wow. That's, you know, and then we have the world right here. You will never influence the world by being just like it. Okay. And that's why you need to be the change, right? I'm hearing maverick. Okay. So maybe, you know, you need to do something that no one else is doing, right? In order to create change, you can't influence the world by doing what everybody else is doing, right? You have to do things differently. You have to think outside of the box, okay? And by doing so, you're not always going to have, you may have people that don't see it, right? Because they're interested in being inspired, influenced by the same methods. That's what I'm hearing, same methods, right? But you're here for impact. You're here for change. You carry a bright light, right? You're being divinely guided and right? You're choosing to do things differently. You can't influence the world if you're just like it, right? I'm hearing you are the change, okay? Even if you feel like it's small, okay? Know your circle. Make sure everybody in your boat is rowing and not drilling holes when you're not looking, okay? Know your circle. Make sure that everybody in your boat is rowing and not drilling holes when you're not looking. Okay. And what I'm getting with this is that, when you're trying to be the change, right? Not everybody's going to support it. And sometimes, people, the ones that hurt us the most are the ones that are family or close friends that are smiling you, saying they support you. But the minute you turn around, they're the ones drilling the holes in your boat, okay? When you're not looking, right? Because, change is uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't embrace change. So instead of having your boat move forward, they'd rather put holes in it. So know who you're surrounding yourself with, okay? And a great way to know is, pay attention to how people make you feel, okay? Listen to what your intuition is telling you, right? Does that person, read the energy. Does that person bring you in or make you want to push away from them or run away from them or leave the scene or, or do you want to get closer to this person or are they drawing you in, right? And if you stay silent enough and you're paying attention to what people are saying, people will tell you exactly who you are, or exactly who they are, if you are silent enough to and paying attention to what they're saying. Okay? All right. Because, not everybody is going to support your ideas. So you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that will. The very breath of God is in you. Job 33:4. Yeah. That's why you're the change here. You're the change. You're the one planting seeds. You're the one carrying the fire, right? God needs you to believe in yourself, right? I just heard you've come a long way, right? Continue to trust in the path here. Okay? And He is with you, right? Guiding you. But He wants you to pay attention to your circle here. Okay? Because sometimes the best manipulators are the ones that are smiling in your face, telling you how much they care about you. Okay? Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. And this is Psalm 121. It says, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Yeah. You could be doing, like I said, you could be some kind of speaker, something on the internet. Maybe you're on social media, or you're thinking about doing it, or I'm also hearing like maybe you're writing a book or a podcast or something like that. It's like your word is lighting the path here because you want to be the change, right? You want to inspire and influence people, knowing that you can't be just like it. You can't, you got to be, to be change, you got to do different. You got to be different. And God is with you on this path, right? As you plant these little seeds here, right? And I'm hearing, every seed that you plant is igniting the fire and the light within you. Okay? It's getting brighter, right? So you can guide more people on the path, right? You could be going for a walk on the beach as well, or live near the beach. It says, radiate positivity. Yeah. And that's part of your light here. This is part of, being that lantern. I'm hearing being that lantern in a dark place. Okay? And it's through your positivity, and that's why the divine wants you to be kind to yourself, right? You've come a long way, embarking on this new change. I'm hearing you're the change agent. That's what I just heard. Do what you love. Yeah, and this is by doing what you love here. Okay? Doing what you love. And God is supporting this. Okay? Being that light for others on a path that creates change here. Okay? So keep moving forward. Letting God guide you, right? Shining that bright light of yours. Whatever floats your boat. We have another confirmation about boat here. And then this one, there's a boat with only 2 people in it. So maybe you're evaluating your circle and realizing, you know what? I think I may have had too many people in my boat that were drilling holes, right? Maybe you now have a new boat with a new person, right? And now the boat floats. That's what I'm getting. So you realize, I need to get a few people out of my boat because it keeps sinking. Now I've created a new boat with a new person and it floats. That's what I'm getting, right? And you're allowing God to guide you in this boat here, right? I'm hearing embracing the change. Okay. God empowers you to live a life of compassion and kindness, mirroring the heart of Christ. That's you. This is the path. I mean, we have multiple confirmations in here, okay? Multiple about you being the change, you carrying the light, you radiating positivity here by trusting in Him with all your heart, okay? I'm also hearing all your soul, right? Your faith never wavering, right? As you love who's leading you. And this is lighting up your path, not only for yourself, but for others, because you are empowering yourself to live a life of compassion and kindness, mirroring that Christ-like spirit. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? And the divine is so proud of you. Okay? And just keep radiating that light, because even when you think it doesn't matter, right? because the world seems so dark right now, you know. I normally don't watch the news, but I did see a glimpse of it at the gym today, and it's dark, you know, it's a dark place. And, you know, your light is needed now, okay? As small as you may think it is, the divine is leading you on a path that it's going to be a change agent, okay? You just need to keep your flame lit, and by radiating that positivity, okay? Because you're never alone. Okay, maybe you feel like you're alone on this path or have been walking alone, right? You're not alone. You have the divine, right? They're guiding you. Okay? They're guiding you on this path, right? And I'm also hearing they're guiding you on where to plant these seeds as well. Okay? Where your seeds can be impactful. You know, not every seed, you know, if it's not divinely guided, it won't grow. Okay? So the divine is guiding you to places where you can have impact. That's what I'm hearing. So pay attention, listen to the downloads, listen to the guidance, and in order to hear that, you have to get rid of distractions. Okay? All right? Because you're not alone here. Let's see. Forget what you failed to do. Focus on what you could do next. Okay. What I'm really getting with this is that this is what I'm really getting with this. Is like maybe you have, and I'm really, getting it with this card. I think one of these things that maybe you're speaking down on yourself is that you're not following through with everything that you say you want to accomplish on a daily basis. That's what I'm getting with this. But the divine wants you to focus on what you can do next, right? Maybe you had plans, you have like a daily checklist, like I'm going to do this, 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 and this, right? And then, things happen, you go with the flow, and you're not able to, check all your boxes. Don't look at it as a failure. The divine wants you to look on what can you do next, right? Or what can you do different, right? Instead of beating yourself up about not reaching all your goals, right? And sometimes that's divinely orchestrated, right? Because you need to be able to go with the flow, all right? Not everything works out as planned, okay? The divine has another plan, right? And it's not always yours and on your timeline. So don't think that it's always a failure, right? Just focus on what you can do next, okay? Maybe it could be one of these things where you're like, okay, today I'm going to do this, or today I'm finally going to get to that thing on my list, right? And then the day takes off and that doesn't happen, right? Don't look at it as a failure. Just say, okay, what can I do different? How can I get that into my schedule? Or how can I make sure that happens, right? And go with the flow, because, the one thing that you want to make sure you eliminate is any resistance. Okay, going with the flow is exactly that. But once you start fighting to make things happen, and forcing to make things happen, it's like you're swimming upstream. You're swimming against the flow, right? And just know things all work out the way they're supposed to work out. Okay? It says, ability is what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, And attitude determines how well you do it. Yeah, and maybe that goes with this here. And I'm getting you what you're capable of doing, right, is through your motivation and your attitude, right? The attitude you have towards yourself. You know, if we tell ourselves, you know, man, I'm really tired, okay? I'm really tired, right? Well, now you're going to embrace that energy where you feel tired. But if you say to yourself, you know what? I'm full of energy. I am totally energized. I am totally motivated. I have limitless energy, okay? See how the energy feels different? Now all of a sudden you feel like you're motivated to tackle those things on your list, right? Because now you're in the attitude that motivates towards what you're trying to achieve, right? But if you tell yourself, I can't do that, or I'm not motivated, or I don't have the energy, or I'm tired, right? You're talking yourself down in vibration, down to a lower frequency, and away from your light here. And so if you really want, if you're somebody who's like, wow, I like to achieve these things, but I haven't been able to, right? You need to ask yourself, how are you talking to yourself? Okay? Because it's everything. And it's not just speaking, it's thinking. And you have to flip the script on your thoughts and your words into the direction of your success, in the direction of what you're trying to motivate yourself on, right? On what you're trying to achieve. It's like, what I'm hearing is like, what you speak and what you think are the stepping stones to your success, to the change, you know, and for whatever you're trying to create or do in your life, you know. But if you keep planting seeds of, well, I can't do that, or, you know, I don't have time, or, you know, I don't have the money, or, you know, I'm too tired, or I can't fit that in my schedule, right? You just created stepping stones to making sure that doesn't happen. So do you want to be the change in your situation here? Do you want to stay stuck and settling for where you are? Because if you don't want to settle for where you are and you feel that you're worthy and deserving of the life of your dreams, your manifestations, your goals, your aspirations, your truth, I'm hearing, then you have to create stepping stones towards those things. You can't create stepping stones that are taking you away from that in the other direction. And it all starts with your thoughts and your words and your beliefs. They all have to line up. Okay? And they have way more power than you can ever imagine. Okay? Some of the most successful people in life are not because they're highly educated. It's because they believed and they believe and they spoke and their thoughts all lined up with what they had envisioned for their life. You know? And they created those stepping stones with their thoughts and their beliefs and their words towards their vision. Okay? And choosing not to settle at any cost. You know, even if that means walking alone, because you're never alone. God is with you. Okay? So take that how that resonates for you. But if you're feeling unmotivated, okay, you have to really reflect and do that deep dive and look at yourself and say, well, how am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I speaking? And what am I believing in myself? Okay? Because those three things are what create your path. Your path to go to a lower vibration, a path to go to the dark side, to the darkness, or a path to go into the light, right, of success. You know, it's up to you and your choices, okay? But the divine is always guiding you here, right? And make sure that you're paying attention to the people around you, making sure that they're not, you know, they're basically, it says, you know, drilling holes in your boat. They could also be the ones that are removing the stepping stones from the path that you want to take. Okay? Don't allow that to happen. You are in control of your life. Like I've said this in the past. You know, when it comes to like the canvas, you know, I'm going to use this as an example. It's like you hold the paintbrush to your life. You get to paint it. As long as that paintbrush is in your hand, right? You paint it with your thoughts, your beliefs, right? What you say, what you believe, what you're thinking, like that's painting your life, right? Don't allow others to stop you from your path, okay? Even if that means being alone. You know, you have to be able to and willing to make those big decisions, right? If you want to be the change agent. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? All right, I'm going to get a card to close this up. And, okay. We'll get one of these and an angel number to close this out. But really focus on your thoughts, your beliefs, and the words that you're speaking, not only about yourself, but about your path, okay? Because if you don't change those, it's going to keep you stuck, right? And be willing to see the truth of the people that are around you, okay? And sometimes that's very hard because the ones that you've been longtime friends with, right? You know, it's hard to see the truth on those type of situations, right? But it allows you to free yourself into, you know, being on a path that you're worthy of, right? That you can move forward on. Okay. What else? Let go of the past. Yeah. It says number 21. It is time to envision a new story. Okay. All right. Let go of the past. Right? And it's interesting. It's that we both on these cards, this woman is, you know, man or woman walking this direction, and then we have another person walking, right? It's like by letting go of the past, you're going into this beautiful season. I'm hearing season of happiness. That's what I'm hearing. But you need to make sure that you are really checking yourself on how you're speaking to yourself, okay? Because I'm hearing maybe you're focused on things that happened in the past, or thoughts of the past, or maybe past decisions, right? That are causing you not to be kind to yourself, right? But that's not where you're going. You have a new story. Look at the difference. Like, this is all dark, right? It looks like very little is growing. And look how beautiful and radiant this is. You're radiating positivity, right? This is what defines all of that. That's where you're going now. You're not going there. You're not going to the past, right? And this is a 3. We have 3, 3 here. So 3, 3, 3 could be significant. Okay? So take that how that resonates. But keep radiating this positivity, the glow. I hear you carry the glow. Okay? And even the small seeds have value. Okay? Your small seeds have value. And we have number 5. Okay, so 5 is change. It's being the change here. It says, flexibility is your forte. When life throws you a curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find excitement in the unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavors. I am adaptable. Yeah. You're flexible in trying new things, right? Because you want to be the change here. Okay? Because you're ready to let go of the past, right? You've learned all the lessons. You're moving forward, right? You are this bright light. The past showed you who you are, right? And that your light has value. And the divine's showing you this as well as they guide you in this path here. Okay? I'm hearing this is leading you to your abundance. Okay? So keep shining that bright light. Okay? Even if you think it's a small seed, right? Those seeds can be powerful. Okay? So plant those seeds and let the divine do the rest. Okay? All right, that's the message I have for you today. I hope it resonated with you. And I hope it given you clarity on how you can grow and expand and evolve and get in alignment with the best version of yourself. If it didn't resonate for you today, please check back tomorrow. I do daily readings Monday through Friday. So check out tomorrow and see if that resonates with you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It's a new channel and it helps get messages like this to people who need to hear it the most, okay? But until then, I hope that you have an amazing Thursday and you get into the boat that leads you to this change, right? And until then, I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye.